A couple of days ago we seen Moscow receive 17 inches within a 24-hour period, a record breaking amount of snow there. This morning we awoke to a fresh covering of snow here in central Scotland, and not just here, we've also seen that across parts of Paris, across much of France, even central Spain, where there has been disruption to flights out of Madrid. So a real wintry flavour to the weather pattern across Western Europe at this moment in time. Thanks for clicking on to the Tuesday edition of Vogan's European Outlook. I hope you had the chance to look at yesterday's post with regards to the stratospheric warming that is predicted by the models mid-month. Of course, the big question is going to be exactly where does the cold, once that split occurs within the vortex and we see the southward propagation of cold into the mid-latitude pattern, it looks as if the United States is most likely to see a piece of that vortex drop south, bringing a very cold second half of February and beginning of March into the United States. But the question for us is, are we going to be stuck underneath that blocking area of high pressure, or do we see a piece of the secondary piece of the vortex come down over Western Europe? So that is the big question. Models have a very difficult time trying to pinpoint the details on that, so we're going to continue to monitor this very, very carefully. We could have still the worst of the winter to come if that happens to be the case and we do see the cold drop into the western side of Europe. Until we get there, the westerlies are going to continue, but at least we've got plenty of cold getting entrained within that westerly flow, so we're going to continue to see rain, sleet and indeed snow. So we woke to a fresh covering of snow here in central Scotland this morning. We're continuing to see snow showers blowing in on a westerly wind, a northwesterly wind, but clear skies, lighter winds tonight will once again put us in a position where we could be threatening the coldest temperatures of the winter so far. Probably -12 in central Highlands where there's a good snow cover, but even here in central Scotland where we've got snow on the ground, we could be talking about not that far off -10 by dawn tomorrow if we stay clear and we stay light in the winds through the course of the overnight period. So you can see here off the GFS that we continue to see the westerlies sweep frontal systems in. You notice here some pretty cold air even associated with this Thursday night Friday system. Rain initially, then it looks as if the model wants to change the precipitation over to snow. Some very, very chilly air indeed on the back side of that frontal zone as it pushes through. And then we see the next system coming through during the day on Saturday. That also initially brings some milder air ahead of the frontal system. We've got the 540 line up into the northeast of Scotland here. So you can see here that pulls in the milder air out of the southwest, and then once that frontal system comes through, we're back into the cold air once again. So we're just continuing to see these systems coming in one after the other off the Atlantic here. And that looks as if it's going to be the case in the next week as well. But really by the time we reach about the 12th, 13th of February, that is when the models indicate that the potential for that sudden stratospheric warming event to take place. And then it's usually 6 to 10 days after the occurrence that we see the response down to the low latitude region or the mid latitude region down at low levels, because of course there's a transfer, a propagation of cold from stratosphere down into the troposphere, and then you see the response in the kind of the weather that we experience day to day. So a lot of interesting things to come here, and plenty of winteriness still in the pattern, even though we've got the positive NAO. We've got a lot of cold air getting drawn across the Atlantic via low pressure systems. So like I said, potentially the coldest night of the winter so far. We're once again taking a run at that challenge tonight. Then we've got milder air coming in with the next system during the course of tomorrow. But then looking at the Friday Saturday system, that may have rain and then changing over to snow. So just hang in there. Winter is still holding firm, despite the fact that we're seeing longer days and shorter nights in response to the calendar, of course. Hope you have a great Tuesday, and I'll be back in the next couple of days with more. Bye for now.